What has Vietnam done after receiving fishing yellow card? It has been 2 years since Vietnam was imposed yellow card warning on IUU fishing by EC, the second largest seafood import market of Vietnam, causing a seafood export decrease to this market by 6.5%. Nearly $390 million in 2018 and continued to taper off in the first 8 months of 2019 to just $251 million. From being the second largest import market for Vietnam's seafood after the yellow card, the EU has dropped to 5th, and its imports have decreased from 18 to 13% in influenced US market and other potential ones as well. That has badly influenced not only the economy of Vietnam but also seafood enterprises and fishermen. If fishermen don't obey strict regulations imposed by Vietnamese government, they will not be allowed to go offshore fishing and their aquatic products will not be procured. This will directly affect their incomes and living standards. Moreover, China's increasingly illegal and aggressive expansion of upscale military exercises in the South China Sea, especially in the exclusive economic water zones of Vietnam and international waterways, have narrowed fishing zones down for Vietnamese fishermen while they are in charge of earning bread for the whole families. Therefore, the yellow card by EC makes it harder for fishermen with penalties from Vietnamese government as well as outside risks for violations. So, what has Vietnam done to save itself from the EC's red card? Regarding governmental management, Vietnam has applied a series of strong actions to prevent IUU fishing, like promulgating the Fisheries Law in 2017, establishing the National Steering Committee on IUU Fishing Prevention and Control led by Deputy Prime Minister Trinh Dinh Duong, directing relating ministries and agencies to coordinate against IUU fishing, promoting the propagation and dissemination of the Fisheries Law, the IUU White Paper and guiding documents, especially regulations on combating IUU fishing for organizations and individuals involved in marine fishing activities, strictly punishing fishing vessels that violate or show signs of IUU fishing, refusing to issue exploitation permit and registration for any offshore violations to raise fishermen's awareness and responsibilities against IUU fishing. Processing facilities and procurement centers deal with only legally caught seafood with clearer traceability from fully licensed fishing vessels, fishing logs and fishing port certification. People's committees of coastal provinces and cities are responsible to the government for the results of fighting against IUU fishing in their localities. The Vietnam Association of Seafood Exporters and Producers, VASEP, and fisheries companies also have pledged to with authorities and fishermen to meet EC demands on fighting IUU fishing. Regarding finance, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development of Vietnam is completing a proposal for a sustainable fisheries development project with a total investment of Vietnam dong 8,359 billion. Equivalent to $363 million with the participation of 10 coastal provinces and cities, which are the focal point for fishing and brackish water shrimp farming. The project will be implemented in 6 years, 2021 to 2026, helping to improve the management capacity, value-added enhancement of fishery products, international integration and climate change adaptation, constructing and upgrading facilities toward modern and synchronous fishing port infrastructures, forming and developing national-scale fishery centers, creating a driving force to support fishing, especially offshore fishing, raising the efficiency of aquatic product exploitation and reducing post-harvest losses. Regarding technologies for managing and monitoring fishing vessels and activities, Vietnam has already deployed a transparent information infrastructure to monitor the journey of fishing vessels by installing and synchronizing VNPT and VSS system, Vessel Supervisor System, that connects fishing vessels with ports and enterprises to make it easy to trace the origin of marine products. This is a comprehensive solution to meet the communication need of fishermen and the requirement to manage ships of owners. At the same time it supports the traceability of aquatic products right at fishing ports, providing fishing information for disaster prevention, search and rescue activities. Besides, VX 1700 radios and Movimer cruise monitoring equipment are all installed for 15 meters to 24 meters length fishing vessels in order to certify raw materials and fishing origin. All these actions result in a decline rate of penetrating foreign waters, thanks to the collaborative efforts from the Vietnamese Navy, Coast Guards and Border Defense Forces as well. The efforts and determination of Vietnam's government and the seafood industry in the past 2 years to prevent illegal fishing activities, prohibit frauds of origin and promote transparent trade activities have brought productive results, which received pleasing appraisal of the inspection team of the European Parliament's Fisheries Committee, MEPS, during their working trip to Vietnam late October 2018. MEPS gave highly evaluation of the open, frank and constructive cooperation of Vietnam's relevant authorities and fisheries organizations and communities. They especially welcomed the white paper issuance on combating IUU fishing and agreed that Vietnamese government has devoted enough human and financial resources to fulfill the commitment to address IUU fishing issues. Through all above actions, Vietnam can be said to fully support the EC's IUU fishing regulations to create a healthy competition and protect the aquatic environment as well as develop a sustainable seafood industry. Vietnam has been and will always take active and strong action and commitment to prevent IUU fishing. Is it time to lift the yellow card and return a healthy competitive environment to Vietnam's seafood industry as Vietnam now has no shadow of IUU fishing?